We are back at it again here with another video with the Invest for Tomorrow. To the first time viewers and investors, welcome to the channel. To all subscribers, welcome back. Here we are with the SPY, the SP 500 index, continuing to fight and hold support here at the 408 area. And we need to talk about the key levels to watch going into tomorrow. What's going on with the inflow versus outflow and the bull and bear indicators, which I'm going to pull up here. And you can now gain access to it as well. The link is down below in the description to the 42 vision indicators, getting connected over to our bots, and becoming part of a growing community of investors, all looking to learn and grow together by receiving this clarity and edge over the charts and using these resources to maximize in either direction, whether stocks are going up or going down. And in today's video, I'm going to pull up the inflow versus outflow indicator, which adds that extra layer of confirmation and gives us that edge within the volatility. So here we are with the SPY, the S&P 500 index, under a bear indicator here on the 30-minute, as well as the outflows dominating within the chart's volatility today. And we're going to break down what was going on in today's volatility, because the FOMC meeting was anticipated and everyone was watching to see what was going to happen. And things were pretty choppy here in the first several minutes to an hour when the FOMC data came out and Fed J. Powell spoke, right? And now, right after that 3 p.m. mark, things started to accelerate. And we're going to look at that zoomed in within the charts. As we could see here, there was a big pullback, guys. So let's go ahead and pull that up. But it's going to be crucial and critical to not ignore how much support has been fighting here at the 408 area, even several weeks back and days back, as we see in the charts. And in the last 2 days, it has been a critical level. So let's go ahead and zoom in here and look at this from the 5-minute and the 15-minute. So we could see here that the 15-minute had a bear indicator pop up, outflows crossed over, and same thing here within the chop on the 5-minute. And as you see it popping up there on the screen, our SPY bot today sent out a bear indicator at 2:55 p.m. And from that moment forward, outflows crossed the midpoint to the downside. Pure weakness there on 42 vision, and put options went up 300% plus within an hour, guys. Upon joining, you'll gain access to our indicators, our bots, and becoming part of a growing community of investors, all looking to learn and grow together. We look forward to having you join us, and let's go ahead and jump into this. So the SPY on the 5-minute was having volatility in the first half of the day, started pulling up towards the meeting, as you see there, and then finally got rejected. That bull indicator from down here at around 411.10 with a bear indicator that actually pierced right through it to the lows here of 1046. Some chop there, and outflows already made it through the midpoint to the downside. And then the pure weakness accelerated within the next several minutes to an hour, and the 15 minutes soon after sent out a bear indicator here at around 411.65, canceling that previous bull indicator as well, as you see there in its chart. And the outflows had crossed over and they were red, guys. And it wasn't just the 15-minute and the 5-minute. We also saw that on the 30-minute. So something to not ignore, that in today's volatility, yes, things were choppy in the first half, but the directional move that dominated after all the data was out and Fed J. Powell started speaking in that meeting after the 2:30 to 3 p.m. mark. And we saw here the support early on in the day of 410 and the resistance of 412. 412 got broken through briefly, but it could not hold here in the end of the day. And then 410 got sliced right through, and it actually finally broke and hit newer lows, guys. And the weakness was there. Bear indicator popped up on the 5-minute. You can even zoom into the 3-minute and see things into more volatility that it had popped up earlier here at around the 412.21 area. Even when it actually popped back up to 413, it was still under a bear indicator and outflows dominating. So that was crucial and critical to have that edge and clarity over the charts within that volatile move, because a lot of things were moving back and forth, but the directional dominance was looking pretty clear here on multiple time frames. So I did want to zoom in to show you guys how things were looking here in the zoomed in picture. And now we're going to zoom back out and break down the key levels I would watch going into tomorrow. So let's go ahead and zoom out here to the 30-minute. And as we could see here on the 30-minute chart, the outflows are dominating at negative 5.07. And the lowest that it went yesterday was around negative 8.16. So it has room to go lower based off the history of the chart. And if we zoom out even further, that is some of the lowest points that we've seen in several weeks to a month. And right now, it is at negative 5.07. That is something to watch and not overlook here within the volatility. If these outflows continue lower, that weakness can continue to reflect pretty quickly into the charts. I would not ignore that. And the bulls would need this to actually start leveling off and try bringing itself back up towards the midpoint and switching from red to green if there's going to be any strength here in these charts, in my opinion. And this is definitely something I'm going to keep a close eye on going into tomorrow, because it's going to be critical here based off the 30-minute chart frame. Now, if we zoom back into the 15-minute, you could see these inflows are trying to pick up here, going from red to green, but it's sitting sideways. It needs to push up higher and go towards the midpoint to start reflecting that strength into the charts, start retesting resistance levels, and possibly cancel out that bear indicator with a bull indicator. And if that 15-minute strength can actually happen, it could possibly start to reflect here into the 30-minute and roll over. Now, when we zoom out and look at it from the 1 hour, you could see that these outflows crossed since the early on point of the day. On that first pullback from 412 to 410, there was a divergence going on here from 410 to 413, but the outflows were dominating here in the bigger picture, and going into the meeting, it actually went ahead and pulled further away from the midpoint and currently sitting at negative 5.71, and yesterday's highs were right around here, negative 6.56. That was the highest negative amount of outflows yesterday at the bottom, and here it is approaching that level. And this is some of the highest outflows that we've seen in several days and weeks as well. So something to not ignore is, will it double bottom here and do the next leg up, or is it going to break through and try to retest lower support levels? That's going to be critical and crucial. I would not ignore that here, as we're back under a bear indicator as well. That is not confirmed yet, but it's in the process currently right now at 6 minutes and 20 seconds before this bar closes. And if it closes with this bear indicator and these outflows this low, it may confirm onto the next bar, and it's something to not overlook. Now, let's talk about the key levels I would watch to the upside and to the downside. So the first thing is support, guys. 407 right now is where we're at, about to hit new lows here that we have not seen since way back here around April 26th, and where that bull indicator popped up around the 406 to 407 area. So the first support there in that tight area is going to be 407, and I'll be looking for a possible double bottom or a breakthrough to possibly new lows. And if these outflows continue and they continue to pull down on the 15-minute as well, then the next support I'll be watching below 407 is the 405 area, and then comes the 403 to 400 area. I would not ignore that. Those are going to be critical levels to watch. But if these outflows slow down and they can level off, not just here on the 30-minute, but also here on the 1 hour, for it to pull back up and go from red to green. So that is something to not ignore. Now, when we go ahead and look at this from the bigger picture on the 1 hour, things are just as down on the outflows as the 30-minute. So if they could both level off and pull back up, it could be something to definitely keep in mind and watch closely. Now, the first resistance, again, is going to be that 410 area. Then above that comes 412. And then the 415 area will be crucial. And I'll be watching if those outflows can actually start to get canceled with inflows. It's going to be critical for these inflows to cross on the 30-minute and on the 15-minute and possibly cancel out these bear indicators in the process. So that's what I'm going to be watching going into tomorrow. It's going to be crucial and critical that these inflows come back up. If not, if these outflows continue to dominate and these bear indicators do not get canceled, they may have domination over the chart going into tomorrow's volatility. So I'm going to be watching this very carefully. These are the key levels to the upside and to the downside that I would not ignore. I'm going to be watching the bull and bear indicators and the inflow versus outflow. As always, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.